Episode 18, Down the Cheezehole. The Cheezehole is finally legal. The Cheezehole can go to war. The Cheezehole can buy a pack of smokes.
Nice.
Actually, now that I said that, did you know the Cheezehole can't buy a pack of smokes even though it's 18 years old? You have to be 21 to buy a pack of smokes.
What?
Yeah. So,
No.
My oldest stepson turned 18 in December, and I said,
and wanted to buy a pack of
no,
smokes?
I said you should go out and buy a pack of smokes just because you can. And
That's
he said,
a real law. No.
yeah. And he said,
Sure enough.
I can't buy a pack of smokes until I'm 21, and I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
When did that change?
I don't know. Probably when that whole big tobacco war started.
This past year.
Really?
Oh, really?
How come this did not make bigger? Maybe it did, and I'm just
This
completely out of it.
This article's from February of 2020, so it's right when pandemic was
Yeah.
kind of starting.
I get,
so
I
people
get
just
the whole
forgot.
smoking thing, and it's bad for you, but you can go to war, but you can't buy a pack of smokes, which is the same
Same
thing to be said
argument
for
as-
alcohol.
yeah.
Yeah. They can ship you off to boot camp, but you can't buy yourself a pack of smokes
I
to
always
drown
just-
your sorrows.
I always use the legal definition of being an adult is that you're old enough to make your own decisions, except smoking and drinking.
Yes. Well, I mean, you can vote, you can go to war, but don't you touch a cigarette or alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, the drinking age in Wisconsin used to be 18, did
Yeah,
it not?
yeah.
When did that change? Somewhere around the
Back
60s?
in the mid-'80s. No.
Mid-'80s. Oh, this
mid-'80s.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
mom was grandfathered in.
Yeah, there was a
bit.
few years there where some people in the early mid-'80s were like the grandfathers, so they could drink in high school and the other kids couldn't.
Lucky.
Yeah.
How did they grandfather people into that?
What was the birth year? I mean, we could probably look it up, but I do specifically remember that there was a group of kids who were in that tweener years. I want to say it was like 1984, 85. Yeah.
September 1st, 1986.
Nice.
Oh, seems later than I thought. So after September 1st, 86, you had to be 21.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, not that deterred any high school kid from some way of obtaining alcohol, at least in where I grew up.
How did you get into? Oh, because this is the 18th episode. I
Yeah.
forgot how we
Legal
got
by
there.
smokes too.
The
Yeah.
Cheezehole
Yep.
turned
Yep.
18.
Yep.
There was a shark and an alligator at in a Kaukauna. Like there was like a pet like expo. I think you could go buy pets.
Cool.
So if you know the public is coming into a place and you're holding an illegal animal like a shark,
What is up with that area and illegal animals? Isn't it like?
was that the same area as
Well,
before?
it's like Green Bay before, wasn't it? That all those snakes were taken from.
Yeah, well, this wasn't a
Kaukauna's
seizure.
not
This
far
was
from
this
that.
was
No.
this was like a drug take back. This is like
This
if
is
you
like a
have
forfeiture.
Yeah, this is like if you have an animal that that you own and can't take care of or don't want or want to get rid of. No questions asked.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's what that was?
Seriously? Yep.
I did not understand that correctly.
It's
Yeah.
called a habitatitude. Habitatitude.
Say that
Try
10
again.
I can't. I don't know if that's right.
So
It's
somebody
exotic pet surrender.
somebody
No
came to
kidding.
their senses and were like, an alligator wasn't the best choice for the kids.
Yeah. My moat is a little too small now. It's
My
all-
moat.
Organize,
Time to expand the moat.
organizers say that they received an alligator that had been neglected and a shark that had outgrown its aquarium.
No shit. No kidding. A shark that had outgrown its aquarium.
They took fish, invertebrates, reptiles, pet birds, small mammals, and plants. No questions asked.
And plants.
And plants, yep.
Okay, so so the only plant you'd surrender, I assume, would be like pot, or is it illegal to grow
I
poppies?
just found
Probably.
this.
Yeah, I thought this was an invasive species.
So somebody owned a shark and an alligator.
The alligator. There's a picture of the alligator. It's quite small. It's actually fits in the bottom of just like an average sized plastic tote. It's kind of cute.
Well, sadly, that's probably where they had it living.
Yeah.
Just like some people shouldn't have children, some people shouldn't have pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have the common sense to not own an alligator, but they came to their senses when they realized,
Yeah, look, we'll
I
give
can
them-
no
we'll
longer
give them-
take care of this,
We'll give them credit,
and
where
I should
credit
do
is
the
due.
right thing and take it to the exotic pet surrender in Kaukauna.
Well, thanks, Kaukauna. Well, Kaukauna, like we already identified that the Fox Valley area is a hot spot for critters that don't belong there. So
yeah.
Kaukauna took the bull by the horns, so to speak, and you know, somebody who hasn't made such good decisions is there's a woman in Mount Pleasant who I think she got kicked out of the bar. So then she decided she's gonna drive back into the
Isn't
bar.
this where the three guys
That
hit
is.
each other? This
It was Mount
crash in
Pleasant.
the- yeah.
Where the three cars
three
we
ca-
talked about last time, where they all just randomly
Come
crashed
on.
into each other, the drunk drivers.
So
Yeah.
how did I not put those two?
So
things
we got
together?
a
Mount Pleasant
We got
is-
a pattern here. We got like the Fox
Mount,
Valley.
Mount Pleasant is anything but pleasant.
Yeah, we do have patterns.
Yeah, we got a pattern here.
Yeah, the
Fox
Fox Valley
Valley's-
is like bad animals.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant is rage drivers and drunk drivers.
So what was the story again? So she got kicked out of the bar.
My understanding, but I clearly messed up the first story. But she got kicked out of the bar,
Okay.
so she drove her car. Like, I don't know if it was back into the bar or like a crowd of people. I don't
Why
know.
are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, she just got upset and drove her car back into the bar.
Was it back into the
No,
bar?
it was.
No,
it just
like,
says into a crowd.
Into crowd, injuring one is the title.
Well, where? So this was during the day, or there's
It's
just
2
extra
a.m.
details?
2
2 a.m. again.
So
Yeah.
where's there a crowd at 2 a.m. in Mount Pleasant?
You got to stay away from Mount Pleasant at 2 a.m. for sure.
Everybody leaving the bars.
Where's there a crowd? We had this conversation. Mount Pleasant is like it's just keeps going over and over again. We have the same conversations about Mount Pleasant at 2 a.m. Unsafe time in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Witnesses say the pedestrian was struck and became trapped under the car. The driver tried to flee the scene but was apprehended by officers. And the victim was transported to a local hospital and later took the helicopter ride into Milwaukee.
Well,
The person she hit had
Yep.
to go
Yeah.
flight
Yep.
for life. Mm-hmm. Again, none of this is funny, but it's funny. Like, what the hell? It's geez.
I find the connection to Mount Pleasant funny right now that this is 2 weeks in a row of similar situations and
Right.
stories. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get kicked out of a bar, you probably shouldn't get in your car and drive home.
Did we decide where Mount Pleasant was? Is it down in Milwaukee?
Oh, it's
or-
Milwaukee,
Kenosha.
Racine, Kenosha, yeah.
So it's south of Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it's Racine. I think it's a suburb.
Okay. I love that. I really do think that we have to look at the name Mount Pleasant and consider just maybe it's not
Maybe
not
change
not
Maybe
a
it's not
proper
so
name.
pleasant.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Mount Pleasant's where they built the Foxconn plant, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mount car crash.
Mount
Oh,
Carver.
car crash.
Mountain drunk. There. Speaking of unpleasant things, there was a woman who's upset because her ice shanty was stolen, and it was built by her late husband. Well, first of all, I'd be upset just because my ice shanty was stolen.
Well, yeah. Yeah, she'd been fishing Shawnee Lake since she was 4 years old. So a lot of history out there. Husband built the shanty and it was stolen. I mean, I'd be upset about that.
You know what?
The good news for her, though,
No, go ahead.
the good news is for her that she can win one.
That's
Did you
what
see
I was
this?
gonna say.
Yeah.
That's
No,
exactly.
this is-
You took
this
my
is-
lead in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Well, Leinenkugels, our beloved Wisconsin beer company, is actually raffling off a $50,000 value ice shanty in an effort to help people understand that their very popular beer, Summer Shandy, is pronounced different than an ice shanty.
So we read this story yesterday. Andy and I were discussing this because I read, and we never did nail this down, although I think the ice shanty is the correct story, because some other news organization reported that they were giving away a $50,000 tiny lake home. Because I think that somebody interpreted ice shanty
As a lake.
as a lake
As a,
house.
as a tiny house.
It is.
as a tiny house on a lake, meaning on the shore of a lake,
Yeah.
versus a tiny house on the lake,
Yeah.
meaning in the winter on the lake.
Yeah.
So again, I've had this conversation in past about how the media just doesn't manage to get anything right. They just take a story and make it into their news story without understanding the news. This is why Donald Trump had fake news. This was fake news. They messed it all up. So I hope she does get that little Leinenkugel's shanty.
That would be nice if she would won that. That'd be something.
You seen the pictures of this thing? It's like a log cabin, man. I mean,
The
it's
pictures were
beautiful.
renderings, though. Did you notice that they
Yeah.
weren't real photos?
I want to believe that they're.
They must be still working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do the photos until it was done if I was Liney's.
I mean, it says it includes built-in furnaces, holes for fishing, an audio system, lake house decor, and a grill. I mean, it's pretty good.
What else do you need?
Equipped.
A card table. Whoa! Another thing I thought of. So, are there Wisconsin card games that are Wisconsin only?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Well, I can
mean,
name
like,
two that
I know ones that I like.
I know two that I didn't realize until this weekend I think might be a Wisconsin thing. Number one is Sheep's Head, which I believe is kind of a Midwest Wisconsin thing. And number two, is cribbage a Wisconsin thing?
I don't think so.
I would be surprised if that's just a Wisconsin.
You know, I don't want to say just a Wisconsin
No,
thing,
but
but
originated here
It
or
originated in England.
that sounds like an English word.
because like a cribbage board,
A spot of cribbage.
Yeah, that did sound right.
I wonder if you were in Texas and you said, go grab your cribbage board, they'd look at you like you're speaking English. A different English.
I don't know the history of cribbage.
I would venture to say if you called a relative of yours that lives in any other state and you told them, can you tell me where your cribbage board is? They would say no. But if you ask me where my cribbage board is, I would say, which one?
What about, so you mentioned sheep's head, and I did look that up, and it says that it is most commonly played in Wisconsin. What about euchre?
That's like a variation of sheep's
It
head,
is,
isn't
and
it?
I like euchre. I play that all the time. I love it.
I think that those are very Wisconsin games, and then you can even go a little bit further. Like, is Rummy? That's another game that as a traditional Wisconsin card game. If Texas is going to take Hold'em as their own, I think we need to rename it like Wisconsin Euchre or Wisconsin Sheep's Head. So it's clear that we own that game. Mm-hmm. Well, it's something.
Sheep's Head is the official card game of Milwaukee.
No, that's something.
All right,
that's
something.
We'll take it.
Well, I think we need to figure out the cribbage thing by doing an informal survey of people who don't live in Wisconsin and if they own a cribbage board.
All right.
Does everyone here own a cribbage board?
Nope.
Oh, really?
Never played it.
Shame.
I don't have one in my house, but I grew up playing it. Grandma had cribbage boards for days.
I'm not kidding. I probably have 3 or 4.
I bet you I have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even the shop classes.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
they
it
make
used to be.
them.
It used to be you made ashtrays to bring home to your parents. And now, well, up here in the Northwoods, you make a cribbage board.
Yeah.
Well, if you're smart, you'd make a cribbage board with an ashtray built
Built
in.
in.
Ah,
One end, yeah.
but don't
Or maybe
smoke.
you could use the filters as your little pegs.
But not until you're 21.
Yeah, not
Right.
until you're of age. Well, since we're gaming, Aaron Rodgers, the schedule came out for his Jeopardy.
Yeah, he's going to
In
be
April?
The host in April. Do we have specific dates or?
Yeah, there was
Oh, yeah.
there's actual dates. It was mid-April, maybe.
April 5th.
Oh, early April. April 5th through what? Or is it one episode only?
It's 10 episodes.
I think
So
he's going to do a
it's-
good job. Has anyone seen Greg Jennings doing it? Is his name Greg Jennings? No, he's the
Oh,
old Packer
gosh.
wide
Still
receiver. What is his name?
Ken Jennings.
Ken
Ken
Jennings.
Jennings, yeah.
Greg Jennings would also be better than Ken Jennings. What I was going to say is Ken Jennings is not a good Jeopardy host. He's like a robot. He's like Eric at this podcast.
Thanks.
That's just so mean.
No, has anybody seen Ken Jennings? No.
Not as host.
Well, I'm
No.
anxious to see Aaron Rodgers because I do think he'll be a really good host. So,
So they got Dr. Oz is doing it. Katie Couric is doing it. Anderson Cooper, and I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she was Blossom. She's in the Big
What
Bang
does
Theory.
that mean?
Mayim Bialik. You got to know how to say her name.
Is it on this article?
No, but
Oh.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
She was Blossom, and then she was on the Big Bang Theory.
I'm lost, Jeff.
yeah.
She's
You
actually,
lost
Oh
me,
my
too.
gosh. Okay, well I'm gonna stop talking about her because you're all so confused. You
I
know,
don't-
you
I
know the
don't-
show
I've never-
Blossom, right?
No.
That was from your era. That was early '90s.
I can assure you I never watched a show called Blossom.
Mayim Bialik says Karen.
Karen knew her
knew
name.
who it was.
Thank you, Karen. Can you come take Eric's seat?
You got to know who. Google.
Oh,
her.
I know who she is.
There you go.
I recognize her, yeah.
Anyway,
I've never watched Big
but she's
Bang
super
Theory.
smart. She's got like degrees from Harvard or Yale or something like that. She's been anyway.
I
a
think
host
all
too?
of those will be better hosts than Ken Jennings. Maybe not Greg Jennings, but the Greg Jennings slip up was a good lead in to what I plan on doing with you guys today. I have a game for you.
Oh,
The name of this game is Packer, Politician, or Pinocchio. And here's how it's played. I am going to give you a name. And
Okay.
that name will either be a member of the 1997 Super Bowl roster for the Green Bay Packers, a former Wisconsin politician,
okay.
or a name I entirely made up. A Pinocchio name.
Before beginning this game, for the record, I was 6 years old at the time, so wish me luck.
Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna be embarrassed by this.
So what I want you to do is we'll go around and you just tell me whether it's a Packer, a politician, or a Pinocchio, and then once we have all 3 answers, I'll tell you what it was.
Okay.
The very first name,
Okay.
Sam Cooke. Eric?
Politician.
Politician. Andy?
Oh, the only Sam Cooke I know is a musician. Sam Cooke.
Packer, politician, or Pinocchio?
Since I don't know, I'll just side with Eric. I'll say politician.
Packer, go against the grain.
Okay. Sam Cooke was a politician from 1894 to 1897.
Ooh, what was he? Do you know? Oh,
I
sorry.
do have
A
notes on some of these
politician.
people if they were interesting, but I didn't.
That tells you everything you need to know about
About Sam Cooke. Yep.
Okay.
Poor guy. Okay.
I'm going to start with you, Andy.
Ah,
Randy Kinder.
I don't like this game.
Randy Kinder. Packer, politician, or Pinocchio?
Randy Kinder. The founder of kindergarten. No, I'm going to say Pinocchio. I'm going to say he is nobody.
Pinocchio.
He's nobody.
Pinocchio.
Eric?
I'm
That
gonna say
sounds like a
Pinocchio.
name you'd make up.
The three of you said Pinocchio, but Randy Kinder was a defensive back from the University of Notre Dame on the 1997 Packers Super Bowl
Okay, was
team.
he a starter, or is he just like a?
Don't ask me if he was a starter. Clearly, I'm not going to pick the starters.
Yeah,
I'm not
see,
going to
this
go
is-
like Brett Favre.
Pinocchio.
That's Brent.
Brent Favre.
Brent
We're going to
Favre.
go Reggie Johnson, and it's on Tim. Reggie Johnson.
Packer.
Eric? Reggie Johnson.
I'm gonna say Pinocchio. Yes, I just don't know.
Andy?
Reggie Johnson sounds like. See, I think what Jeff did here is made a combination of Reggie White
Yeah.
and Ron Johnson.
Sure.
And this would be a Pinocchio.
You're probably right.
Okay, so what did we have?
I
here?
said Packer.
And you said
Pinocchio.
And you said Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Reggie Johnson was a tight end
No.
for Florida State University for the 1997 Super Bowl team.
Wow.
I Andy, that was very good thought process.
Yeah,
though,
thank you.
'cause I could totally see
We're
you
on
doing
Eric.
that.
Bob Williams,
Packer.
Packer.
There's no athletes named Bob anymore.
Well, this is
This is in
1997.
the 90s, though.
Yeah.
And the Red Squirrel is back, just for the record. He just came down the hill. Bob Williams.
Bob Williams is a. Oh my gosh, this is difficult.
It's supposed to be.
Bob Williams. Bob Williams
It's okay if you get it wrong.
is a politician.
It's Pinocchio.
Okay, so we have all three here.
Yeah.
We have a pack. Bob Williams is a Pinocchio. However, there were three Williams on the 1997 Super Bowl team: Brian, Gerald, and Tyrone. But Bob was not one of them.
Dang.
I'm not doing good.
Okay.
I've got two.
Jerry Mickens. Jerry Mickens.
Is it on me?
Yep.
Jerry Mickens. Pinocchio.
Okay. Jerry Mickens.
Jerry Mickens is a politician.
I'm gonna say politician.
Jerry Mickens is a Pinocchio, but Terry Mickens was on the 1997 Green Bay Packers Super Bowl team.
Jerry and Terry.
We're on
Tim now,
yeah,
I think. Yep.
Yeah.
Erasmus Cole. Erasmus Cole.
I don't think Jeff's capable of making up a name like that. So I'm gonna go with politician. We haven't had one in a while.
Erasmus Cole.
Politician sounds like an 1800s politician.
Erasmus Cole.
1800s.
That first.
I'm going to say he was a Packer.
Erasmus Cole was a member of the Whig Party.
Yes,
From 1849 to 1851.
1800s. Boom.
Now, was there not a football player like Erasmus James?
Yes,
Was there-
exactly. That's why I
Okay.
picked these
All right.
names.
All right.
How much time did you put into this?
Not much.
I don't believe that.
Who are we on, Tim?
Me.
Eric.
No, Eric.
Dale Kuberski. Dale Kuberski.
That's a politician.
Dale Kuberski.
That sounds like a politician, yeah.
Dale Kuberski, Tim.
It's too Polish. He's a Packer.
Dale Kuberski was a Pinocchio, but Bob Kuberski was a member of the 1997 Super Bowl.
See, I was
There's-
very
there's
close
a Bob.
to that. I
And
made
Bob
the, I made
Kuberski
the,
went
It was Bob.
was Navy.
the ski. It's a Wisconsin thing. Yeah. It's close.
Oh,
Who are we on?
me.
I have 3 or 4 more.
'Kay.
Or I should. Is this boring?
No.
No, I'm getting my butt kicked, though.
Bucky Brooks. Bucky Brooks.
I want that.
Who are we on, Tim?
We are on
Eric?
Andy.
Oh, that's a good name.
Bucky Brooks.
That'd be a good sports name.
Bucky Brooks is an excellent
great
sports
name.
name.
That'd be a good politician name. He would get votes just for his name.
Uh-huh.
But it
It
could
also
also
sounds
be.
very fictitious, doesn't
It
it?
does be, because, yeah.
Bucky Brooks.
Let's see, Bucky Brooks was. Okay, I'm going to say you made him up.
Bucky Brooks is a Pinocchio,
Yeah.
says Andy.
Yep.
Okay. Bucky Brooks is a Packer, but Bucky was a nickname.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Packer because I believe that this guy is a writer for NFL.com.
Bucky Brooks was a defensive back from the University of North Kakalaki on the 1997 Green Bay Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I recognize.
That's
the
just
name.
that's just a name that is given to football players. I feel. Wish it was my name.
Now we're back to Tim.
Yeah.
Let's go with Paul Phrase. Paul Phrase.
Can you spell phrase?
F-R-A-S-E. Paul Phrase. And maybe I'm mispronouncing that, but I'm pronouncing it phrase because it's my game.
Paul phrase.
Phrase? Paul Phrase. We're going to go phrase.
Politician Paul.
Okay.
politician.
Okay.
I'll say politician as well.
Paul
Oh,
Fraze was a defensive end from the University of Syracuse on the
Interesting.
1997 Green Bay Football Packer Super Bowl champion team. Let's go with Les Aspin. Les Aspin.
That's on Eric.
Les Aspin.
Pinocchio.
Les Aspin. Eric says Pinocchio.
Less Aspen and more maple.
Les Aspin.
I'll say, you said Pinocchio?
I said Pinocchio.
We haven't had a Pinocchio in a while. I'll say Pinocchio.
I think Les Aspin was a politician.
Les Aspin, not only was he a politician, he was our Secretary of Defense. He was a politician from 1971 to 1993, and in 1993 he became Secretary of Defense. Not to be confused with the Packer defense, because he did
Which
not
he was
play
not
for
on.
them.
Yes.
Or the Minister of Defense.
Let's go. Who are we on here? I only have two more here.
Me, I think.
Yeah.
Let's go with Laverne Dilwig. Laverne Dilwig.
Trick question. He was both a politician and a Green Bay Packer.
Maybe. Tim?
Laverne Dilwig. I think he was just a Packer.
Okay.
I can't remember what
I'm
we
going to go with
talked
Andy.
about.
He was.
We
both.
talked about him in the last
Yeah.
podcast.
No, but he
He's-
lost.
Well, here's so.
But he was not on the. Oh, he was not on the Super
He
Bowl.
was not
team.
on the Super Bowl team, but I'll give you credit for knowing,
yeah,
for
okay.
remembering. But
That's
there's
right.
more to this story.
I couldn't remember
that we
which
didn't
one
bring up.
won.
We didn't bring this up, and,
that's right,
and it was
wasn't-
left in the comments of our podcast. If you
Laverne-
read the comments.
Okay, Laverne Bell, like I said, was the greatest Packer to not be in the NFL Hall of Fame, and
Well,
should be.
I didn't put this together. Did you know? How come you didn't bring up that Anthony Dilwig was his grandson?
I don't know who Anthony Delwig is.
He played for the Packers.
I didn't
On
know
the
that.
97 team?
No, Anthony Dilwig was the backup to Don Mikowski. And somebody
Oh,
left that in our
Magic Man.
Packer notes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about
I didn't know that.
Cool.
Anthony Dilwig went to Duke and was a Packer for probably 5-6 years.
Wow.
Best I remember, maybe even longer. So
Laverne would have been, in this case, a politician because he was.
he was a politician, is the column I put him under. Alvin Durkee. Alvin Durkee.
Alvin Durkee is Pinocchio.
Alvin Durkee. Eric?
I'm going to say Packer.
I'm going to say politician.
Alvin Durkee is a Pinocchio. Ooh. I hope you liked that game.
I did. I came
How
back.
many did you get
I
right?
got 6.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
3.
I got 3 also.
See,
No, you
I
got
stopped
6.
thinking about the name and I started patterning Jeff. And
There was-
just like what
there was
was
18.
what we were like looking, what we hadn't had in a while.
There's 18 total, so you got a
We all are.
33%.
1, 2,
Hey,
3, 4.
That's par for the course. I'll take it.
You only gave 12 though.
Oh, there's 12. Sorry, there's 12.
Yep.
There
So
was.
I got 3 out of
50%.
12.
There's 12.
You got half of
had
them?
33%. Yeah.
You still failed.
But
Still an F. Yep.
What I
Yeah.
tried to do under the Pinocchios
But I feel good
was,
about it.
was take actual football names and then pair them with a different first name to throw you off track. And then Alvin Durkee. Durkee was like the sponsor of the Packer games.
That the spice-
Olives are not just olives.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why I went that route. But I do believe there was a Durkee politician too, but don't quote me on that. So since a shout out to the comments for the Anthony Dilwig note, and since we're talking about fandom, I spent a good amount of time this weekend talking to one of our big fans who's down in the Melrose Mindoro area. It was actually like I feel like he met a celebrity when he was talking to me, which made me feel really good because he wanted to talk nothing but about our podcast, which was nice. But-
connection to this gentleman?
so he was a teacher in Three Lakes when I was in high school, and he hasn't been back since. He's been the principal / superintendent in Melrose Mindoro for the last 20 plus years. He recently retired. Now he's a bus driver. And he said the bus driver is the favorite thing he's ever done.
Tells you
Which
a lot.
I have no stress there, I'm
Right,
sure.
yeah.
And he said the kids bring him gifts every day, like cookies and stuff like
Nice.
that.
And he listens to our podcast.
He
on
does.
on his routes, I bet.
Yeah, he listens to it while he works out. He said, but he said his favorite part was he's never laughed so hard than when we talked about Wisconsin goodbyes, which is classic.
It is.
And I just went through one this morning because I stopped by my mother's house on the way to work to hook up a new modem for her, and nothing goes quickly because she gave me a Wisconsin goodbye.
And the wave at the end.
And finished
down
it
to
off
the
with a
wave.
wave standing
Window
in the
wave.
window.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, almost like a parade wave standing in the window. Well, we're talking about I put a new modem in, so and this is right here in our hometown. They're delivering internet service by drone.
Yeah, I can't believe this. I feel like Eric should be our expert on this.
I feel like this isn't a business, and I feel like how long? So like when that drone runs out of battery, you're
Three
just
Lakes.
like you're done.
This is happening here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
over.
it's-
I had seen a story about this a while ago, and I hadn't looked it back up. But it was it's like these guys somewhere between Three Lakes and Crandon, and apparently they're doing a lot of it in Crandon.
But the drone has a finite life of hovering over your house.
Especially in Crandon.
The drones will have attached.
Shot out of the air. No joke. They'll even admit it. Get that bird out of here.
The drones will have attached cell towers and Wi-Fi networks that can broadcast a signal to residents and students from the air
But it doesn't say like for 30 minutes or 10.
for indefinitely. I don't know.
So the
not
drones
possible.
just hover up there forever? This seems like it's from outer space. Well, let's get Karen in.
Did you not read this story before we got on the air, Eric? 'Cause
Of course you
you
didn't.
You would be able to contribute more to this
I
story.
really
than-
kind of thought Eric was going to
He's,
take this
he's
one.
Yeah.
unprepared, Eric.
Well, while he's researching, why don't we invite
I'm
Karen
going
in
to
here?
admit I never read any of the articles.
That
Are you
explains
guys
a
starting to
lot
come to
about
my-
your
Are you starting to
contribution.
come over to my side that he should be booted? It's just beyond
Well,
attitude.
I mean,
at
I
this
have to
point.
have some reason to get canned every week.
So the
Might as well make it easy.
we talked last week about Chick-fil-A gave away a car to its employees.
The one in Appleton.
The one in
specifically.
Appleton,
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A in Appleton, 4.5 stars, 1,179 reviews.
You betcha.
You
darn tootin'.
give her Billy.
We ordered 2 kids' meals, 1 4-piece nuggets and 1 2-piece chicken strips.
Yum.
Wow, we were very disappointed. The nuggets were so tiny, 2/3 the size of regular nuggets, and the chicken strips were half the size of an original chicken strip. My kids were definitely still hungry. Shame on Chick-fil-A ripping off the kids' meal like that. A McDonald's 4-piece nuggets is adult size. Their chicken strip is adult size. Everyone, order their kids' meal. Don't order their kids' meal. It's definitely a scam meal.
That's one of my favorite
It's
ones.
a scam meal.
That's one of my
I'll take
favorite
the
ones.
scam meal.
Well, my first thing when I read this is like, I don't order kids meals, but I would fully expect them to not be full sized. But
Right.
yeah, I guess that.
I feel bad for her husband with her judgment of 2/3 size nuggets and a half size strip.
Well, we don't have anything to compare.
But as far as manufacturing, they're not going to make it would be way too difficult for a fast food restaurant to have multiple sizes of the same item.
I would
There's
ag-
no way
I
that that's
agree.
possible.
I would agree. So it's like, hold on, and put them in a fryer, mix
Yeah.
with just drop the kid size chicken
right.
strips.
And if you put down, let's say, you have an order for kid-sized chicken strips and you put them down, and then you don't get another kid-sized chicken strips till 6 o'clock at
yeah,
night.
I would agree with
it's-
you on that.
They're all the same size. They're
And
just different portions.
And if they were doing that, that would just be somebody who needs to look at their operations management manual and be like, why are we stocking 5 sizes of chicken strips and nuggets?
Yeah. I think this person is just mistaken.
Yeah.
Just Karen.
I refuse to believe anything bad about Chick-fil-A.
I've never
Well,
been to one.
I
never
me
had it my
neither.
entire life.
Me neither.
Let's go.
You been to
Eric,
Chick-fil-A?
you've been?
Where's the nearest Chick-fil-A?
Probably
I
Appleton.
think the Appleton one.
There's not one in Wausau?
No.
It's a southern
Bay?
thing.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I don't know if there's one in Green Bay.
Is
It's
I
a
know-
southern thing.
Tell me about
Green
it.
Bay.
No, it is a southern thing. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, it's south of 64.
That's why I said it's not in Green Bay.
there's a bunch in Milwaukee. It's where I've been. In
I don't even think there's
Minneapolis.
that many. Like just a couple.
Can you
There
tell
might
me
be
about
just a
it? What?
couple, yeah.
Why? I mean, obviously, it's a
what
chicken
is it? What-
store.
It's a chicken sandwich.
It's just good.
Yeah.
It's what makes it better than like another chicken sandwich? Is it the breading? Is it like Kentucky Fried Chicken where you're like, oh, that's the best breading? It has a seasoning on it that.
I don't know.
Is it just because you think it should be good because everyone talks about Chick-fil-A?
Yep.
It might be that.
makes
And
sense.
It might be
No,
one of
makes
those things too, like because there's nothing, there's not one close by, so you're like, it's kind of like a,
Well, there's nothing close by to here. We have
Oh, that's
we have Dairy Queen and McDonald's,
Which I do
so,
like.
Yeah. Well, I there was a guy walking through his neighbor's yards, yards plural, naked, and when the cops arrested him, he told them, "I was just out for some fresh air." I actually thought this was really funny.
Tell you, the air doesn't get any fresher when you're walking outside naked.
But I mean, so do you have a right to walk around naked? Probably not. That's public indecency. That's probably
That's
a
for,
local
that's for
ordinance.
sure public indecency.
I guess it
and
is.
it says, he was
by
it says he was
definition.
climbing over fences.
Ouch.
So it's like it's not just like he's walking through this connected yards. He's like
Okay.
really
so,
going at
but
it.
Question. So
Yeah.
let's say you live.
Why are you looking at me? This is
Well, you asked it. You said, well, somebody asked it, that, so let's say you go outside to get your morning paper and you're on your property and you don't leave your property, but you're naked. Is that a crime? If you're on your property?
Well, if it's public, quote unquote, indecency and you're not in public,
Yeah.
I would imagine that the minute you leave your private property,
Yeah, but I'm
I
just
would
saying,
assume if like you're in
if you
sight
just go
of-
out to get, if the paper's on your front step in the morning and you open the door and step
and you're
out,
like, "How you doing?"
yep, and get the paper naked, can you be arrested? Or
I would submit that you should not be arrested for grabbing your morning newspaper naked. I don't think it's fair. I do a lot of things naked
because I was
around
going to
my
say
house.
us in
No,
the,
I really don't.
but us in the up in the more remote areas, we have the naked advantage where we don't have to worry about our neighbors.
The one thing I do is I like to urinate around the house.
So do I.
Meaning the outside, the outside of the house.
It says
or in potted plants.
So it does say it depends on states
Yeah.
and laws, but it's being visible to the public.
Right. So I think even if like you can't walk out into your front yard,
Now-
say howdy neighbor, and then drop your drawers,
Okay.
I still think that.
Well, now let's say you live in the woods where we live,
Yeah.
and let's say you go out to your front stoop to pick up something, and you're naked. Let's say Eric, you're
Yeah.
naked,
And you don't realize the
and all of a
neighbor's
sudden
outside.
the UPS driver comes up,
That's on him.
and now are
Drives
you
up to-
and drives
in-
on, and you're naked there on the front, and now are you in trouble?
no.
No.
The UPS drivers are way too cool for that.
Because you weren't knowingly exposing yourself to him.
Okay.
In public view.
with a good attorney, I think you'd get off with just a little bit of community service.
Yeah, don't.
What?
with a
What?
with a good attorney, you could what, Jeff?
Get off with a
I missed that too.
You guys are idiots. I totally missed it as well.
maturity level of
Yeah,
a 4-year-old.
yeah.
So
So yeah, this guy was he's 40 years old, and was seen climbing over fences and just walking around.
How old was he?
40. And walking around just after 11 p.m.
Now, am I the only one at this table that could see Eric doing this just a few years down the road?
to be honest, if I had to pick anyone, it would be you.
Nah,
If I had to pick someone at this table, it's definitely him.
maybe in college, but yeah.
Yeah, you're reverting. Well, what I would do if I like to grab my newspaper naked, I would go and grab some of these seedlings that are available is it from the Wisconsin DNR?
I'm sure you'd get turned away at the door. If you
No, I didn't mean I'd grab them naked, but
Oh.
that would let me plant some trees so nobody would see.
True.
But there's free seedlings available from the Wisconsin Department of Forestry or Department
kind
of
of
Natural
seedlings?
Resources. Pretty much anything you want. A bunch of crappy pine trees.
They're not free, are they?
Oh, I don't know.
It does say click here for a seedling prices,
Oh,
which is disappointing.
yeah, I thought they were free.
I
Well,
could do
so-
some free seedlings.
Living,
Me
that's,
too.
that's the
I want
thing
some
is,
too.
Like living in the Northwoods, that's why I always find funny. It's like, oh, I went and got a tree. I'm like, oh, why didn't you just go dig one up? Because they're everywhere. So I always find seedlings to be humorous.
I'm trying to open
It
up
depends
the.
what type of seedling.
I'm trying to open up the
if you want
prices.
some sort of like fun
Voting.
No, I got it. Well, like
holly or something, you know.
yeah, they have all sorts of them, but they're not cheap either.
What? So how much
you're not
is
even
like
getting a
a
deal
how much
on
is a pine tree seedling?
What kind of pine tree?
Let's see. They don't.
Per 100 for
They
a red
have-
pine, they're $52.
Per 100.
Yeah.
So 52 cents a piece.
Oh, really? That's pretty cheap then.
Yeah.
What are like the
I'm reading this chart wrong. I think seedling age, and that's price per 100. I see. So like a 3-year seedling of a balsam fir
how big is
per
it?
100 is how big is a 3-year-old
Yeah,
balsam
does it
fir?
give it in inches or no?
No. Is $60 for 100.
A balsam fir is a nice tree though. Like what about the crappier like
It is.
your
In,
white
in a
pines
couple of
and your
years,
red
that's
pines?
$6,000 in New York.
You want a white pine?
It's a $6,000 Christmas tree.
There's not that much difference.
Jack Pine,
Jack pine
that's
are
a crap
trash.
pine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$31.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
$30 for
represents
100.
what it is.
A jack pine, I believe, is even an invasive species, so to speak. I think they were brought to Wisconsin because of their ability to grow quickly.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Well, The last thing I was going to talk about, and it may be really boring to some, but it was interesting to me, was when I lived in Oshkosh, where I went to school.
By gosh.
I used to listen to WAPL, which is their rock music station, and I still listen to it every weekend in my shop. I'm building a Bronco, and I listen to WAPL on. You can tune into basically any radio station through Alexa or iHeartRadio or any of those apps. Well, one of their DJs, Len Nelson, got canned because he posted something on Facebook about Rush Limbaugh.
Oh,
Does anyone know what he posted about Rush?
I did find it. Yeah,
I
you
was
did.
trying to find it. Can you read it?
I will read it. It's a little lengthy, but then you get the context.
I didn't know
So-
if it was positive or negative, and that was my question.
So Len Nelson said, no individual or entity, except perhaps for Fox, quote-unquote, news, has done more damage to public discourse in America than has Rush Limbaugh with his daily radio rants steeped in bigotry, misogyny, hypocrisy, lies, and malice. He certainly was an accomplished broadcaster, considering he was once nearly ubiquitous on radio and that he has made a crap ton of money doing it. But his most impactful accomplishments were to help already ill-informed conservatives become purposely less informed, less tethered to factual evidence, and less tolerant of cultural heterogeneity, which gives our nation its strength, its uniqueness, and its identity. His legacy will be one of needless political divisiveness, vile rancor, noxious hatred. Rush Limbaugh died from lung cancer today at age 70. I will not celebrate his death, but I will not feel any sorrow for it either. The world is a better place without Rush Limbaugh in it.
So Jeff,
And you guys can't see,
negative.
but Eric
was
just
negative.
started. Eric just started a slow clap.
It was negative. Okay, so this begs the question. He posted that to his personal Facebook page,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
He clearly... yeah,
was it his own
Yeah,
personal-
I don't think it was to WAPL's Facebook
Yep, it is
page.
his own Facebook page. Yep.
So his opinion of Rush Limbaugh, and he's a broadcaster, not that it should matter, because he's clearly not a Rush Limbaugh style broadcaster, meaning a national broadcaster with a humongous following. So he posted something negative about his feelings for Rush Limbaugh. What if that had been feelings for insert other human here? Why? I don't know that he should be fired for that.
It wasn't even all that harsh. I mean,
What? I told you, Eric was starting a slow clap over there.
Bring up Eric's
Eric
posting
says
on
it doesn't- it
Rush
didn't say
Limbaugh's
that.
death so we can compare.
I mean, he says he's not celebrating it, or he's.
But then he said he's glad he was dead.
literally said-
didn't he? Yeah. That sounds like a celebration to me. I don't care either way about Rush Limbaugh, but to me it was the principle of his job fired him to say that he felt Rush Limbaugh spread fake news to the conservative side, to the the other side. Who's the Jones? Same mold
Alex
as Rush.
Jones,
Alex Jones,
the
Rush
guy with
Limbaugh.
the, Sandy Hook
he's a
thing.
step above Rush as far as like he's the one that said the
Sandy
school
Hook
shootings were
was fake.
conspiracies.
So
and
you're,
stuff
so
like
you're
that.
kind of questioning First Right Amendment here. He
Well,
said what he wanted to say, and now he's getting punished for it.
Yeah, he said it on his personal Facebook page. It was nothing disparaging about the radio station. I mean,
And he
maybe
didn't
the
say
radio
it on air either.
No, he didn't
Yeah.
say it on air, but maybe the radio station felt like, well, if we have a bunch of conservative listenership, did you just lose our listenership because now they don't want to listen to you? So we're, and we don't have his contract in front of us, but is that where the line lies? Like, first of all, I feel like shut the up on social media. Like, there's so many people out there who just, go out there and
Run their
blab.
mouth.
We don't need
10-4.
everybody's opinion on
No,
everything.
and his opinion doesn't matter one iota about Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah,
So
and he didn't need to tell us his opinion.
agree 100%. 100%. Like, if you're so dumb you want to go out there and spout off your opinion, then get fired. But then the other side of me is asking you guys, just because I'm curious your thoughts on it, is that a fireable offense? Like, if one of you guys said something on your Facebook page that I felt as a business we don't agree with, and I called you in and said, hey, been good to know you, Andy. See ya.
I can't believe you didn't use Eric in that example.
Yeah.
Well,
You've been trying to can him
it's
anyway.
such an easy target. I felt like I'd take. I don't want him to start crying.
Well, the other thing is this guy, this Len Nelson, is a host of a radio show where he is paid to, talk.
Yeah.
And so he should be able to have opinions related to things in radio.
It's hard to say, too, because you don't know the background content. I mean, there could have been discussions of this in the past of don't be, they could have had an agreement of you don't voice your opinion, you don't say that because it does come back to us, and then he did it anyway.
Well,
Rebellious,
that's what I said, is
if
we don't know the
there's things we
backstory
don't
or the
know.
contract or
Yeah.
whatever. If there's a contract that says... I'm sure there's a contract that says something about what you can and can't talk about off
Sure,
air.
sure.
to a public group, but I just thought to get canned. The dude had been there since I was in college. So that's the early mid 90s.
Yeah.
So he's been at this radio station for 30 years.
Yeah, he started in 1985.
At WAPL.
He went from
born.
Nelson, who was a staple on the mornings with McNeil, from 85 to 99, and again from 2003 to 2021.
Well, I'm about to say something that's probably going to get me fired. So Rick McNeil sounds like a little weaselly mouse and drives me crazy. So I wish he was the one who had said something derogative about Rush Limbaugh, because I liked Len Nelson. Rick McNeil, I was wondering what happened, because I've been listening to WAPL and I didn't see this story, and I noticed that Len Nelson was gone. And I thought maybe he was just on vacation. So then all of a sudden I saw this story come out, and sure as Shinola, he was fired.
It almost feels like there's more to the story. Like, were they wanting him out anyway? And this was just like that. Well, this is easy target now.
Well, since he's available, I wonder if he could take Eric's seat on the podcast.
You could take it.
See?
Yep.
See? No
He's
appreciation.
going to be quick to give it up.
Well, I'm gonna give everybody the Midwest goodbye. Hey, until next time.
Nice talking to everyone.
Hey, bye. Hey, one more? Do you have time for one more?
We should probably get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you hear about that thing?
Good night.
Bye.
All right, we'll hit the road then.
See ya.
Here.
See you guys.
I'm in the window.
Okay.
Eric's waving in the window.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.